Good morning, everyone. So I am here. I'm getting ready for my day. If you're just now watching, sometimes I get ready for my day when I do this. So this is my breakfast. So you may hear my dogs in the background. That's Josh and Daisy. But let's get at it. Today, I'm going to have my final thoughts and discussion on just this past week's events. Um, which was a glob of hot mess. And I think that, I always take a situation and dissect it and look at certain parts that I think are worthy for discussion. And part of this situation that had taken place earlier between relationship guru Derrick Jaxn and his family was his wife, making statements and about why she was choosing to stay with her husband, which is well within her right and anybody's right to do so. But the one thing that I think we don't talk about in this whole matter, and it was kind of frustrating to me, is that after a while and people started seeing her appearance, because there's this very prominent video of her saying, because people were talking about her having on a bonnet, and she came on and she was saying, "You see a bonnet, but I see the helmet of salvation," or some rant. Um, and it caused a lot of stir, and people had a lot of things to say. And at some point, I was looking and I was like, oh, and then I looked again. I was like, wait a minute. This woman is being bullied at this point. And she was. And no one can look at the things that people are saying about her and say that woman is not being bullied. Bullied based upon her appearance, bullied based upon the decision that she made to stay with to stay with Derrick. She is being bullied, and the question that came to my mind is, does forgiving someone make you foolish? Right? Because we always say once a cheater, always a cheater. And I have noticed that black women in particular tend to get bashed a lot when they forgive their significant other for infidelity. And, it's like, does it really make that person or that individual, whether it's male, female, however you identify yourself, does it make you foolish to forgive someone? And I'm coming, excuse me, I'm coming from the perspective of someone who's not perfect, because I'm not gonna attack the people that ain't never that's always done right in relationships, but I'm very vocal about that I had been unfaithful at one point, and I am a person who needed um forgiveness from someone. And it's like when someone is in the phase of forgiving or decide they want to continue their relationship, why is it we identify that person as, oh, he, she, they are a fool? I would never do that. It's going to happen again. This stuff is just repeated. You're boosting their ego. And these are, for me, the same people who would say in a similar breath, well, I'm not perfect. I have to be forgiven and things like that. That's why I don't deal with the hypocrisy of Christianity really, really well. It is something that really burns me, because it's like people pick and choose who they believe is worthy of forgiveness and who is not. And you know, the thing that I have a problem with, number one, is the bullying of this woman. This woman has been bullied, and people cannot say that they are not bullying her. From her dress to her demeanor, to the fact that she wanted to remain with her husband. And and I think, from someone, again, myself, someone who has cheated on someone, and for someone who has been cheated on, you know, it's all about perspective, because this whole story came out via a blogger. And when blogs bring things out, it's nothing different than a tabloid. And a tabloid spins things to get what? To get views, to get that emotion, to get seen, to get more clicks. And so we don't know if this was a matter that they had discussed previously and then it came out and they had to deal. We don't know anything about that. But what we do know is that they made a decision to stay. Well, Miss Jackson isn't the only person who made a decision to stay with their spouse. Beyonce's husband included on an album and did interviews that he had cheated on his famous, beautiful wife that a lot of people desire. And Sweetie left Quavo. She said she wasn't doing that. But Cardi B went back to Offset. And it's John Gray's wife staying with her husband. And and it's like these things where we hear a woman say, I'm going to stay with my spouse. And I'm specifically talking from the perspective of a woman, because this is who I see get bully bashed. That's the kids. Somebody's near the door. All right, Josh. Josh, we hear it. I hear it. But it's black women tend to get bully bashed and dragged when they forgive someone. They really do tend to get bully bashed and dragged. And I think it's unfortunate because, if a person wants to work things out with their spouse, then it's their decision. It's their decision. And I think a lot of this also comes from the position that the woman's husband or partner has. And a lot of the bashing from Mrs. Jackson. Now, I don't know how to pronounce her first name, and I don't want to mispronounce it, so I'm going to just call her Miss Jackson. And so Miss Jackson, her husband had built this career. Derrick built this career as a relationship guru, and going after Jada Pinkett Smith, going after John Gray. And so when this story broke, it wasn't just the feelings of the infidelity. Is all of a sudden everyone knows, because your spouse is a public figure, and then your spouse just happens to be speaking on relationships. and looks like a complete hypocrite. Now, she, whatever the reason they decided to get on their social media platforms today, and I was going to play a bit of that, but I don't want to contribute to the bullying that that woman has already experienced. Because, you know, they made whatever statements. I saw the original statement, the original live stream that he did. And then I saw all the bits and pieces, and then I had to turn all of it out after a minute because I thought the way the public was doing her was completely unfair. Completely unfair. And, you know, and I'm going to do a separate video on this. The problem that I have with this whole situation, and it really has nothing to do with her, it has more to do with Derrick, is Derrick for some reason thought this whole shit was going to break. And then he was, if y'all didn't notice, this dude was selling a book. He was selling a book. And when you hurt somebody through infidelity, you ain't really trying to sell no book. And if you really care about the person's feelings, and you know this stuff is about to be become like a nationwide conversation, you're not trying to promote a product. The thing that you're actually trying to do is you're trying to be quiet. And the reason why you're trying to be quiet is you understand, fully and truly understand the pain that your partner, that you have caused, not the pain that your partner is going through, but the pain that you have caused your partner and the situation that you have put them in. And if you truly love that person, and if you truly want to be with that person, and you really connect with the pain that you caused them, you become really still and you become quiet as you can be. Because when you hurt somebody like that, you feel that to your core. You feel that to your core. And this is the part where people say, "Oh, well, once a cheater, always a cheater." No, that's a damn lie. That's the biggest lie ever told. That's why folks don't want to come out and say they cheated or they were unfaithful to somebody, because you know it's this notion that you're not gonna have changed behavior. That's a damn lie. Don't none of y'all listen to that garbage. But when you hurt somebody in that manner, y'all, you get really still, and whatever reflection that you have, you begin to take, because it starts to hit you that, wait a minute, this is how much this person cared about me. And it starts to hit you again that this is how much I hurt them. And it's this magnitude of feeling. And you're not all gibber jabberish, and you're not making these videos and stuff and selling a book and having a book in your bio talking about some stuff. You're not doing that. You're not making all that noise, because when you hurt somebody, you can feel their tears. And if you really love that person, you really cared about that person, and you are genuinely sorry for what you did to them, you can feel every tear that come out their eyes because of your actions. And I talking a lot and doing a lot when you don't hurt somebody. Nah, that ain't it. That's the problem that I got with Mr. Jackson. He talking too much. He was doing too much. You hurt somebody like that, you ain't got too much to say. You ain't got shit to say. Nothing. You quiet. You know, you ain't cheerful. You don't have a good demeanor because you done embarrassed the person that means everything to you. Let me tell y'all something. I recently just heard, if y'all don't watch Kev on Stage, I follow him on his platforms. And his wife, her Instagram thing is Mrs. Kev on Stage. And I always wonder why. And she threw him a party because he was nominated for an NAACP award. And I may not get this correctly what she said, but she told him that she thanked him for letting her be able to wear the badge of Mrs. Kev on stage without shame. And when I heard that, that was so impactful, because to be connected to someone and to be able to say, I'm Mrs. or Mr. such and such, or I have this person's last name, or this person is my spouse, however you connect to your partner, and be able to say that without shame is a beautiful thing to have. She's never had, you don't have to experience having to go on a live stream and try to protect somebody, and or try to explain yourself. And for Mrs. Jackson, I feel like, I'm like, where your people at? Where your people at? Because for me, the statement for me would have been, this is the matter that I've been aware of. I'm a private person. I'm going to continue to deal with this matter in private, and I have no further comment for the public. And whatever he does with his business-wise stuff, that's what he does. But I wouldn't have, I would have told him, that's your circus. You created that. You go deal with it. And I just think Derrick was doing too much. When I saw that book, initially when I saw the live stream, I was like, oh, I haven't seen one of his live streams, so let me listen. And I saw the book being connected to in the thing, and I was like, oh, he's promoting his new book. And then I'm listening, and I'm like, you promoting a book through all this? Nah. People who really have connected to the pain that they caused people are quiet. I'm telling y'all what I know from experience. I'm telling y'all for what I've known from when I have helped guide people through things. You're quiet. You're not chatty, because you are in that moment and in that experience with your partner, and you understand every ounce of pain because you are connected to that person. You too are experiencing the pain. Your days don't feel good. If their days don't feel good, your days don't feel good. If they're not upbeat, you're not upbeat, because the person that you're connected to is experiencing excruciating emotional pain and embarrassment. You're not up there saying, hey y'all, thank y'all for the support. No, you ain't doing it. You ain't doing it. You just, Josh, you're not doing that kind of stuff. It ain't nothing cheerful about the disposition you got when you done. Josh, when you done embarrassed the hell out of your partner. There's nothing cheerful about that. Sorry, y'all. Josh is gonna do what he do. Um, and so the fact that it seemed to be more about a PR blitz and save for his career versus just let me go sit my ass down somewhere. Now, I want to be very clear. I don't think that in every situation a person should lose everything that they built because of their actions, right? I'm not a well, we all human, we all make mistakes situation, but person, but I am a shit happens. And people make decisions that they are going to deeply regret. We all have one or two that decisions that messed up a path that would have been good for us. And whether it hits you as karma, losing your career as karma, or whatever it is, when we do certain things, there's sometimes a bed that you can't get out of. And I think in this situation, you have to, especially when you have like blogs and stuff coming for you, you have to control your narrative. And sometimes controlling that narrative means I'm not going to say anything. And I got to step away for a minute, see about put my family first, save face second. And I think that is like the humble perspective. When I did the emotional detox life and I was talking all of these things about relationships, I actually had someone, because I tell y'all, this is my real life. I actually had someone that knew that I had been unfaithful and I had cheated on the person. And it was probably about 6 years after it happened. And they texted me and they were like, how are you giving a relationship advice and you cheated and all this other stuff? And I'm just like, I'm open about the stuff that I've done. I'm not gonna lie and tell y'all, oh wait, woe is me. I've never done anything in my life. I got everything right. I ain't never hurt anybody. That has never been the person that I am. I've always said one thing about myself. What I do, I will say that I have done. What I have not done, you not finna put on me. And that's because I'm too upfront about the stuff that I have done. And when I share things, I'm not sharing to say, oh, I did this, I did that. I'm sharing because you know what? I learned a hard lesson in that stuff. A very hard lesson. And it's a freeing that a lot of people don't get to experience when you are upfront, honest, and transparent with people. Because so many people are concerned about what people may think of them and what they may lose if they tell the truth. I'm not that person. And the reason why I'm not that person is because, and if you're watching this, a lot of y'all know that I manage bipolar disorder. I done already lost everything before in life. I lost my ability to live by myself. I lost my ability to take care of myself. I lost my ability to live in my own house by myself. I lost all that. I lost the ability to work. I lost all that. I lost everything. I went straight to the bottom. And so when people say, are you worried about losing stuff, or when you worried about what people think, yeah, for a short period of time, but long term, no. Because I done lost everything and I built everything back up. So I will never be afraid of saying who I am and the things that I've done because of the opinion of other people and this idea that I may lose something. because I done already been through that stage before, and I know it's possible to lose everything and to come back up. So, that is kind of, if y'all ever wonder why I sit here and I tell y'all these stories and I tell y'all these parts of my life with a sense of confidence and a sense of just without restriction, this is the reason why. I done lost everything already. I done had people call me names because of an illness. I had people reject me because of things that had nothing to do with me, because I developed a medical condition. It's like I done had people tell me they didn't want to be with me. I done lost close friends because they had an issue with me being queer and dating women and anyone else. I done dealt with that already. So when you deal with that and you know that you can still make a living for yourself, and you deal with that and you know that you can still have platforms and still have support, you don't step down. And I'm going to do another video on that because I'm getting off topic. But I'm saying all that to say, when you're a person that has platforms, y'all, and I think this missed Derrick Jaxn, and I really feel bad for him that this missed him, because you can be an imperfect person and still be impactful. I'm proof of that every single day, and everybody may not hear my voice, and everybody may not follow me, and people may unsubscribe, and people may not share and like and comment and subscribe. I'm okay with that, because I had told myself a long time ago, if I made a difference in one person's life, I would be okay. Because what if I was that for one person? Like, what if I was that one person that needed support? And what if I was that one person needed to hear that imperfect story? And Mr. Jackson should have sat his ass down and dealt with his family. Even as the story came out, he should have sat his ass down, made one pre-recorded statement, got it approved by his wife, and sat his ass down and dealt with his family. Because you can be an imperfect person and still be impactful. Some people are going to pull away, and some people are not going to support you anymore. But this is what I want y'all to understand about support. And this is the thing that opened my eyes. These past 4 years that we went through, this last presidency opened my eyes. After everything we went through in 4 years, over 70 million people still agree with Donald Trump, don't y'all ever worry about whether or not you're going to have somebody support you. If he got support through everything that he did in this country, don't y'all ever wake up in the morning and worry about if you're going to have people support you. Your people, the people who going to ride with you, are going to ride with you, period. And that's it. And sometimes you got to be happy with that. When I stopped doing hair videos, and I got rid of all my hair tutorials, because I'm like, I'm not that. I was like, I'm a speaker, and I'm a life coach, and I was like, I'm a therapist. I have more to offer people, and I get it. Hair is a part of us. Like, but I have more to offer that. There's so much about who I am, and I wanted to project that out, but I didn't want to project all this stuff out about myself in the context of I got it right, or I've always gotten it right, or I've always been this perfect person. It's like, that's not me. And, we tend to continue to think that we have to be these perfect beings in order to be successful, or that we have to hide our imperfections in order for people to accept us. And That's not true, y'all. We watched 5 years of a blatant sexist and racist and homophobic, just blatantly say stuff all the time and receive support from almost half the people in the country. How is that person more bold than you? How are they bolder than you? And so, a lot of it, like, I look at things and I look for, okay, what is the lesson behind all this? And a part of this for me, when I was dissecting this whole thing, it's easy to say, oh, he's cheated, let's talk about the cheating, let's talk about the hypocrisy. But no, we needed to pull that onion back a little bit. We needed to talk about, hey, is dating while you're going through a divorce cheating? Because someone actually needs to look at their state laws and talk to their attorney about that, and decide what they want to do. And another one, like right now, the whole conversation of, does forgiving someone make you foolish? And people, because I've seen the memes around this woman, Mrs. Jackson, and it was this one is like, I'd rather drag my stuff through da 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 before I hold the hand of somebody who's saying the world they cheated on me in the third person. And that's still bullying that woman. Like, we do bully and bash black women who have forgiven their spouses. And it's really, and a lot of people, talk about people's mental health. They talk about people's maybe they have low self-esteem. As a mental health clinician, a practitioner, a therapist, I've learned to never diagnose someone from what I see on the internet. You should never diagnose anybody from the internet anyway. And I don't make assumptions about anyone's mental health. I don't make assumptions about anyone's self-esteem. None of that. Because how many people have we seen on screens that are happy and glowing and doing all this other stuff, and then they're not with us anymore because off the screen they weren't happy. So what you see on the screen could be very misleading, very misleading indeed. But I don't think, and I'm going to get into this conversation later this week, maybe tomorrow, that this whole notion of forgiving making you foolish is the right narrative that we should spin to people, because I think that it is a very personal decision, and I don't think it's a decision that's ever taken lightly by anyone. And and for whatever reason they make their decision, even if it's their faith, if it's they're looking at longevity of the relationship, if they believe that the individual has made strives to show them change based upon what their criteria was and what their points of change were, that's their decision. But I don't think that we should be adding to another person's emotional distress by making a mockery of them, even in the sense, if it seems like, if our public view may seem like they're making a mockery of themselves, don't add fuel to the fire, because yeah, y'all, it is bullying. It is bullying, and it's bullying and bashing. And at the end of the day, whether you make that decision or not is your personal business, and whatever decision that person made is theirs. And I don't think that when it comes to Derrick being a relationship guru, because I don't care what anyone says. A lot of the stuff that he was saying sometimes was on point, and it was probably on point so much because he was doing the dirt. Because that first hand experience can teach you some stuff. Um, but I don't think his wife um, should have gotten the level of criticism that she got, because she was trying to be, I saw it as she was trying to be herself in a world that she's not accustomed to, because we never saw her on the platforms. And I don't think that not everybody can do this. Y'all see YouTube videos, but not everybody has the personality to set up a camera and do this and talk in a room with lights and absolutely nobody is there, and still be bubbly as if you're always talking to people. Not everybody, not everybody has that on switch. Um, so I think the bullying of her was tremendously unfair, um, regardless. And I think that we have to pull away from this narrative that people who offer forgiveness um, don't have an intellect to make emotional decisions for themselves. I think that's a very dangerous narrative to put on women, and that women don't have the emotional capacity to make a decision on whether or not staying in a relationship is healthy for them, because y'all may not have stayed with somebody who cheated on you, but you surely stayed with the person that was ignoring you, or you surely stayed with the person that wasn't fully into you, and you surely stayed with the person who seemed like they were only with you for sexual relations, or you weren't with the person in the first place and you believed that they were going to be with you, and so you kept holding on to that. So you may not have done forgiving someone for adultery, but we've all done something in terms of relationships in which we either held regrets or we held on longer than we should have. Most of us, for the most part, I have. And it's just, I just don't like seeing women being bullied for decisions that they make. And when we say comments like, "Oh, he's controlling," oh, we just don't really know. And I don't think she owes anybody an explanation for why she's staying, and she didn't owe anyone an explanation for why she stayed, or what she wants for the relationship, or what she even wants from him. That's her business. And I think I'm just gonna close it out at that. So tomorrow we're gonna probably get into the being impactful when you're not perfect discussion, because I really want to break that one down. But until then, I hope y'all have a great morning. Don't forget to check out the previous videos. Sex Saturdays, we did that late last night, so check out that video. All right, y'all. Peace.